Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And I want to talk about volume and I want to talk about price for just a bit because, well, this is what has been in the news today here, specifically about XRP. There is a lot of attention now on XRP, and it's happening outside of the XRP community because, well, I don't need to tell you, it's the gains. This is the 30-day change. You can see Bitcoin is down 22% and XRP is marching to the beat of its own drum. It is up 8% over the last 30 days. In the last 24 hours, it's up 7%. And this is very, very interesting. So one of the places this volume is coming from is, of course, Binance. They are always holding a lot of that volume with 19%. BitTrue is getting a good chunk of that volume too with 5.7%. BitBank here in Japan is at 4.45%. But Bitstamp, that is one exchange that was mentioned at great length today. They are holding about 5% of that total XRP volume. This is the article that I think really had a lot of attention paid to it. It is talking about 20 million for September, which was remitted to Mexico and the Philippines, is up 80% over the previous month. So this is the volume that is assumed is part of the ODL, the on-demand liquidity, for those markets that are live with XRP. And when we go take a look at that Mexico BITSA liquidity index, you can see the trend is not letting up at all. The volume really began back on July 23rd, and it has continued to ramp and just is holding on strong to this trend. From a tweet back in September on the 13th, XRP Research Center found that the Mexican exchange BITSA liquidity index actually broke its previous all-time high. And you can see down here that the XRP Mexican peso pair for the trading volume reported to CoinMarketCap surpassed that of BTC paired with the Mexican peso. Pretty big milestone. So when the tweet went out by XRP Research Center, it did get a response back from Daniel Vogel. He is the CEO at Bitso, and he said, building use cases at Bitso. Indeed they are. And the hallway monitor, looking at the destination tag 25370527 from Bitstamp to Bitso, recently changed its behavior. And what he found is that it used to send big transactions randomly, but now it's sending 28 to 30,000 XRP transactions almost like a heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. And we can actually see that beat in this particular chart that was done by @HMATEJX, who builds a lot of really great charts, and you can see that beat. Don't forget, Galvatron also is really good with the ledger charts and tweeted out about 15 hours ago that there will be some new charts put up soon. So definitely look for those. And as you know, I don't give too much attention to technical analysis, but in this particular case, I want to just point something out. According to the Galaxy BTC, he is looking at the moving average convergence divergence, or the MACD. This is an indicator that reveals changes in strength, direction, and momentum, and it has turned bullish. And if history repeats itself, well, we just might see a surge in price. Every bullish MACD in the past on a weekly chart has been followed by a significant price increase. Let me explain here. The traders pay attention to this MACD because it is usually a signal for entry. And we can see the relationship between those two moving averages of price. It's calculated by subtracting the one period exponential moving average from another period. And when they cross, in the case of XRP, it's very interesting. Okay, so this cross occurred back in March 2017, and we saw a price increase that was 4,600%. And then the next cross occurred the 11th of December 2017, and it was followed by a 1,800% increase. Then when it crossed back in September on the 10th, 2018, we saw a nice price surge of 176%. Now it has just crossed again. This could potentially be the start of a new price surge. That is why it has my attention. SBI, at it again. Huge investment in a UK challenger bank. This is a bank that is also sometimes called a neobank. They are 100% digital, and he put 44 million pounds or 54 million US dollars into this project. I think the reason why he likes these neobanks or digital banks is because they can launch features and develop partnerships much faster than banks with brick and mortar branches. And the neobanks really, they're driving the segmentation in this market. The target of this company called Tide is the SMEs, the small and medium-sized businesses. And so what I want to show you is a quote in the money that was put into this company. It's going to drive international expansion, but Mr. Kitao says, and I quote, "It'll drive growth through aggressive use of new technology." Now, I don't think I have to spell out what that new technology is. And Leonidas, oh, he is just one of the most talented guys in this space, created a Ripple feed. It's very convenient. It's a live Twitter feed of the Ripple execs. So you can go one place and then it will automatically update the executives of the Ripple team and what they are talking about on Twitter. I'll put a link to this down in the comment section below. Okay, everybody, we are jumping to the fluff. Well, did you see the rugby game? I just had so much fun watching that game. I was out for dinner. I was at a very nice French restaurant in Shibuya. And no kidding aside, everybody, every customer, every staff person, everybody in the kitchen, everybody had their phones out watching the game live as they ate in this fine restaurant. I have never experienced that before. Super exciting. And that was the game against Samoa. Now there is a game coming up against Scotland on the 13th, which is a Sunday. However, it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. There is a monster typhoon on its way. This is actually the paths that it could take. You can see that it is, most likely going to brush Tokyo, which is sitting right about here. The only way maybe we don't have to worry about it if it heads to the far west, but I don't know. It's looking like it's probably going to wreak a lot of havoc with the games that are occurring for rugby this weekend. And if you go to the meteorological agency in Japan here, it is really, it's a monster. It's being given the intensity as violent. So it is, yeah, it's one of the strongest ones ever. And I think it's going to probably cancel a lot of the games that are planned for this weekend. Now, one of the islands in Japan's main islands is Shikoku, and it always is having to battle those typhoons. This is the lovely little city in Shikoku called Matsuyama. it is the yeah, it's just always is being hit, but nevertheless, this is a very, very nice part of Japan. It's very picturesque. The name Matsuyama means pine mountain, so it sits in a very mountainous region with a lot of pine trees, so it's very beautiful. It's the birthplace of haiku, and it has one of the 12 original castles that are from the Edo period, which of course began in 1603. Today, you'll find that it probably looks a little bit like this, with a little bit of fall color that's starting to happen. Look how pretty that is. And if you are into hot springs, it has one of the oldest hot springs in Japan. This is one that is, gosh, it was mentioned in a history book that was written 1,300 years ago. This whole region actually is very historic when it comes to hot springs. People have been going there for 3,000 years for its healing properties. But there is something really special about this particular hot spring, and that is up in this tower 3 times a day, one time at 6 a.m., then at noon, and then at 6 p.m. There is a drum up there, and there is a person who goes up, opens the window, and then will uh, beat on that drum to indicate the time. This is a very old tradition, and it is something that is very historic. And I think if you don't know, it became one of the top 100 soundscapes of Japan. Yeah, in 1996, an effort to combat noise pollution, the Ministry of Environment designated 100 different sounds in Japan. They took the top 100 out of 738 transmissions, and the sound of that drum is one of those. I think, though, of all the sounds, there's so many. I do love the sound of drifting ice and the Japanese cranes. That's good. The glass wind chimes is always a beautiful sound. And some of the sounds that come from festivals and nature sounds from birds and insects are included. But my one favorite comes from this. This is a suikinkutsu, and it is a type of water sound that is often found in the traditional Japanese gardens. It's an ornament, but it also functions as a musical device. And depending on how it is built and how that water sounds, the sounds are all different. I want to play one for you, though, that you can quickly understand the um, the healing powers that this water sound has. Here you go. So nice, isn't it? It's something to look forward to when you do visit a Japanese garden, is to look for this device. So that one actually is, I think it's been submerged into the ground, and it's made of copper, and that gives it a very special ringtone. But they're all different. They're all different. So you can enjoy each one in its unique way when you go through those gardens. Okay, everybody. Yeah, sayonara for now. Do take care. Bye-bye.